I've gotten some comments asking about what gimbal people should get with the Canon EOS R7. So let's get into it. So first off, when getting a gimbal, you need to find the weight and the size of the camera. Obviously, this video is about the R7, so that's determined, but it really depends on what lens you have. So a bigger lens you'll need to have a bigger gimbal for to be able to balance it properly. Nowadays, weight usually isn't a problem for gimbals, but size can be. For example, this gimbal right here from DJI, this RSC2, doesn't have a ton of flexibility for positioning the camera, which can mean that you can't put larger lenses on this camera. So with medium-sized lenses like this Sigma 18-35, most gimbals should work as long as they support the weight. But if you're going to be using larger zoom lenses, or just larger lenses in general, you might want to consider getting a bigger gimbal. Now, as far as gimbal recommendations go, anything from DJI should work with the R7. Again, it depends on the lens you have. For me, I have this RSC2. It's a little old, but it works pretty well, and it's pretty easy to balance and can support the Canon R7 with either one of my normal size lenses. It does not work with a zoom lens, so for example, the Sigma 70-200 f2.8. That lens is so big that I can't balance it on this gimbal. If I wanted to do that, I would have to get a bigger gimbal like the DJI RS3 Pro. Because the Canon R7 is a smaller camera, again, any DJI gimbal should work, it just depends on the lens setup. I would recommend getting the DJI RS3 or 3 Pro. Those gimbals are more of the professional gimbals, and they have a lot of cool features, and they're a lot stabler. The DJI RS3 Mini would also work as well, but it isn't as big, so again, not as much flexibility with lenses. One more thing to consider getting is counterweights. These are weights that you can put on the gimbal or the camera that can balance it out. So if the lens is a little bit too big, you can get some of these and fix that. But do note, this will increase the weight of the camera, so that's something to consider. This can allow you to put larger lenses that you couldn't originally put on your gimbal on your camera, but again, does increase the weight of the camera. So that's something to consider. Now, if those gimbals are too expensive, you can get an older gimbal like this DJI RSC2, or the original Ronin S. So basically anything from DJI should work, and they're a pretty great brand and their products are all very good. So that's what I would recommend. You could get, if you do not have the budget, a cheaper gimbal. There are going to be some gimbals linked in the description below for a lower price, but I do not have those gimbals and I haven't had experience with the other companies, so I can't vouch for their performance. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you have any questions about gimbals or anything else that I use, please leave it in the comments below and I will answer your question. Also, if you want to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description below to my Patreon page, so you can support me that way. Also, if you could please consider subscribing, that would help me out a lot. Well, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.